So first, I would definitely address the situation with Anwar, but maybe not so outright. Um, Knowing that he has a close relationship with the terminated employee, I would want to sit down with him and get a better understanding of their relationship and how affected Anwar is by the termination of his friend. This all could be kind of like a false alarm, but obviously we want to be safe and we want to know if this could go further, if there is a potential threat from Anwar. So I would want to assess the situation and see how Anwar is affected by the termination of his friend. If he is just upset about it because, it's his friend and this is distressing, or is he planning some sort of vengeance on behalf of his friend? So I want to know how he's feeling in regards to the termination of his friend. And this will provide some insight into Anwar's motivations and possible behaviors without outright tipping him off. And if Anwar is not actually going to move forward with any threat or violence, I wouldn't want to incite anything. So it should be something that's more discreet, not outright just asking, are you planning something, or are you part of this group, or something like that. Just getting a basic understanding of his feelings towards what happened to his friend. So for potential threat vectors, so my organization is a communications company, which is tech. So many potential threat vectors would pertain to technology. And these could include like cybersecurity things. So malware, ransomware, email hacking, system hacking, and domain hijacking. And being that the communications industry is very male dominated, we don't have a lot of females at the organization. So the few that are there would have to be on, I guess, like higher alert, because there could be obviously potential violence towards them, but there could also be cyber harm done. So hacking into their emails or getting into their records from human resources or something like that, and finding their like social security numbers or their addresses and finding out where they live so that this person can potentially stalk them or something like that. So we would definitely be on more high alert when it comes to the females. But incels have most commonly used domain hijacking and system hacking to gain unauthorized access and broadcast their hateful rhetoric. So we want to obviously make sure that just everything tech related is secure. So like IT would have to get involved and things like that to ensure that they are not getting into the systems and broadcasting their hateful messages and broadcasting, doxing people, things like that. So are there methods that you would prioritize, that you can use to prioritize? So the prioritization process involves ranking vulnerabilities based on their risk level and assigning resources based on the level of risk. And this ensures that vulnerabilities that carry the most business impact and risk are remediated first. So if we find that there is more risk to the business as a whole, we would obviously want to ensure that there's safety there. Obviously, we would prioritize people's well-being over the business's well-being, but in this kind of thing like tech and cybersecurity, a lot of that can have to do with the business as a whole rather than the individuals who work there. But like I said, with the small amount of women who work there, we would want to make sure that they're prioritized at the highest level. just because there are so few of them, so it's easier for him to target. So we would want to ensure that they're safe before anything else. And would you notify your organization about the threat environment? So I would definitely notify the organization. I would try to do it discreetly, as discreetly as possible, so not to tip off Anwar again. So possibly an email being sent out, but obviously not having him on the emails. Though again, with the cybersecurity threats, that could be compromised. I could possibly also do periodic staff meetings, but again, that might tip him off. That might tell him, hey, you're not being asked to come to these staff meetings, so you're being singled out. But if that's the case, then we would still have him come to some staff meetings and just have it be something that's not related to the information that we're trying to pass off to the other staff members. And I would prefer a less personal approach, like the email situation, to ensure that everyone is receiving the same information, but that it doesn't show Anwar that he's being left out. But thinking about it right now, I think that maybe having some departmental meetings, and still having Anwar there, but just making it about different things, so that, again, he doesn't feel like he's being singled out. And for the females specifically, I would want to try to have their department heads speak to them more discreetly and separately, so that they understand that there's probably a higher risk to them, and that Anwar is not involved in like knowing what is going on with their meetings. So I think that that's how I would handle this situation.